whenever the user types something in here, JavaScript is going to take that, whatever they typed in here, let's say bacon, and it's going to send it to the server. It's going to send it to this script right here. Now what this script needs to do is it's going to take that and store it in a variable, and I'm just going to name that variable food. Now you can send things to PHP in one of two ways. You can use get and you can use post. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using get because it's more simple. Oh, I got some phlegm in my throat. More simple in my opinion. And if you guys are like, alright, where is the code to actually send this get? Well, it's in the JavaScript file and we didn't make that yet. It'll just be easier if I make this entire PHP file first. But basically what this is going to do is it's going to take whatever the user typed in here, which is bacon, and set it equal to this variable, which is food. Now after this, what I want to do is I just want to create pretty much a list of foods. So I'm just going to name this food array, and this is just so we have something to go by. Sometimes this would be a database, but since I don't feel like setting up a database for this very simple example, I'm just going to make an array. So we'll just go ahead and just pick any foods that you like. Let's say tuna, bacon. What's another food? Beef is always a good one. Oh yeah, I forgot. We needed that loaf in there. Now let's go ahead and sell some ham too. So again, usually what you would want to do is you would want to look at your database and see what foods or items you were offering the customer. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and store an array just for a demonstration. And now what we can do is we can test, okay, if this food they got, for example, it was bacon, what we want to do is we want to see if it's in our store, if it's in our food array. So in order to do this, just go ahead and make an if statement. And the function to do this is actually a built-in function called in array. That's what I like about PHP. All of the functions are pretty much self-explanatory. Just look at the name and be like, oh, that's what the function does. And it takes two parameters, of course. What variable do you want to check for? And what is the name of your array? I'm just going to go ahead and copy this because I'm lazy. And after this, let's just go ahead and, actually, we don't even need that. Alright, so if we do, basically, if the food that they entered is in this list, what do we want to do? Well, we're just going to echo out, we do have, I'll just say we do have whatever food that they entered. And let's just go ahead and add an exclamation mark or something like that. And I want to say this before I continue. Right now, remember that this is going to be displayed on the screen. So we do have some security issues. For example, anything that gets displayed back to the user, you want to put it through HTML entities, but for right now, I just want to mention, I'm just showing you guys a very simple AJAX example. This isn't secure, so don't copy this code and use it on your website because it works, but it's easily hackable. And I'll talk about the security issues later on, but for right now, just remember that anything you output on the web page, you usually want to put it through HTML entities. So another thing is, alright, so what happens else if, we'll say the else if they didn't enter anything. So how do we test if they didn't even enter anything like this right now? Well, we need to check if that food variable, which is basically whatever was in their input box, was empty. So if we'll say is food equal to nothing? If so, we'll just go ahead and echo, we want to say something mean. It's always good to say something mean. Enter a food, you idiot. There we go. That's nice and mean. Alright, so else, if the food that they entered was not in our store, and if it's something not equal to nothing, so for example, I'm like guava. Is that even a food? I don't know. But we aren't selling it. So if they enter something like guava, then this is what we want to echo. We'll just go ahead and copy this one. Instead of saying we do have, we'll say, sorry, punk, we don't sell no guava or whatever it is. So now we can go ahead and save this, and let me go ahead and talk to you guys through, because now basically our PHP file is complete. And remember, this is the file that's going to sit on our server and communicate with, communicate back and forth with the JavaScript file behind the scenes as the user is typing this in their HTML file. So basically, we needed all of this for housekeeping purposes. And also, remember, anytime you send something using a PHP file to a JavaScript file, or anytime you generate an XML file, it needs to be in between tags, all of your data. So this was the beginning XML tag, this was the ending XML tag, and all of our content is in between here. So the first thing we did is we got whatever they typed in the input box, and we also, had a list of, all that. We checked if what they typed in was in our array or in our store. We also checked if what they typed in was empty, and basically is all self-explanatory. I explained it before. I don't know why I'm explaining it again. I won't do that again, I promise. But thank you guys for watching. In the next tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating the JavaScript file, which is basically the heart of AJAX. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.